There's a question that comes up when you talk about creative work, and that question is, how do I find a style? How do I find my style? And, well, the truth is it's a lot of hard work and practice, but a more interesting question might be, how do you know when you've found a unique style, found your own style? When it comes to figuring out whether you've developed your own personal style or not, it's worth considering whether people dislike your work. What? What does people disliking your work have to do with having your own style? Well, I think, and I'd say there's probably some evidence to back this up, I just can't be bothered trying to find it. I think that if you find that people dislike your work, in your pursuit of finding your style, or at least recognising that you have developed a style, I think you should look at whether people dislike your work. And that kind of sounds a bit bizarre, but I think if you have people who dislike your work, there's a good chance it's because it's split in opinion. Now obviously there's caveats to this. If you're copying work, or if your work is just genuinely terrible, then people might be disliking it for other reasons. If you can create a split of opinion on whether your style is good or not, it probably means that there's something there. There's something personal to you. If no one hates your work, if no one dislikes it, there's a good chance that no one really loves it either. If you try and create something that everyone's going to like, there's a good chance that no one's going to really love it. And I think a sign that you've got your own style is that it divides opinion. Now obviously that might not track for every case and you've got to use your own intuition a little bit, but I think it's a pretty good signifier, especially if it lines up with point 2. I'm going to go find some better shelter for point number 2. Point number 2, shut up. Point number 2 just comes down to originality. It's difficult to judge originality, especially with all the art history that exists before us. Yeah, nerdy art history. We are standing on the shoulders of giants. We are, what are other metaphors? We are standing on the shoulders of giants, and whatever other metaphors may exist to say that there's a lot of shit that's happened. There's a lot of stuff that is out there to kind of copy and draw from, and maybe you've seen it and you've subconsciously copied it, maybe you've outright copied it, maybe it's just parallel thinking and you just decided to be Picasso and you've never heard of Picasso. Could happen, could it? Probably not. But if you, as a photographer, a videographer, some sort of creative, if you find that you're not really seeing work that's like yours out there, and you like your work, that's important as well. If you find that you're not seeing work that's similar to yours out there, then maybe you've found a style. Maybe you found your style. If you're seeing loads of work that's out there that's really similar to what you're doing, and you maybe don't think you're copying, but it looks really similar, maybe you've not found your style yet. On the flip side, if you don't ever see any work that looks like yours and it lines up with point 1, then you've probably found your own style. And you can follow trends. You can follow things like seasonal trends. That doesn't mean that as soon as autumn rolls around you get out the pumpkins and you do some dark, moody setups, still lifes. But if you can somehow represent autumn in your style, in your work, then yeah, you can follow trends. It doesn't necessarily mean you're copying. It just means that you're not following trends like when everyone started shooting pink and blue because of Brandon Woeful, or everyone was shooting crushed blacks because of Visco Cam. And other trends? I'm sure there's some other trends. You know the ones I mean, the basic bitch trends. You see them, you copy them, you do them, they all look the same, no one cares. Right, I'm rambling now. Point 3. Point 3 is recognising things that you really just wouldn't do. Knowing what you aren't willing to put in your images, for example, is a pretty good sign that you're starting to develop some sort of consciousness of what your style might be. So, for example, one of the tropes within still life and food photography is butting the backdrop, and I'll show you some examples, is butting the backdrop right up to the table. So you end up with this little closed system of a scene. And I just don't like that. It's fine, it doesn't look bad or anything, but I don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is because I feel like it makes the scene look a little contrived. And this can be okay if it's stylized, if it's intentional, but I think sometimes it's just done because how else would you do it? And so what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of a shadow gap, a little bit of space between my tabletop and the background that's behind it. And this, to me, signifies that I've developed some sort of style. I've developed some sort of consciousness over what I want to have in my images, what I want my images to look like. And it's something it's not unique to me, but when you combine that with other things that could potentially be your style, then it starts to build a cohesive look. Deciding that you're never going to crush the shadows in your images, or that you're only going to shoot in black and white, or that you only shoot wide angle, you only shoot telephoto. These aren't a style in themselves, but when they combine with these other things that you recognize that you don't do, or you do, that you refuse to put in your images, or that you always must have, that's when you start to build a style. And noticing these 3 points, noticing how people react to your images, noticing whether you see stuff that's like yours, or noticing the things that you refuse to do in your images. These are all kind of small tells to see whether you're progressing, whether you're building that style, whether you've created something that's uniquely yours, or you're not quite there yet. It's all a journey, and I don't think we ever truly have a unique style. There'll always be bits that we grab from other people, from other sources that we see, whether that's grabbing something from paintings, a look that comes from paintings. It doesn't all have to be from your own sphere. And in fact, I would encourage you, if you want to develop a style, a unique style, something personal to you, look beyond your medium, look beyond photography, look beyond video, look beyond graphics or illustration, look further than your field, because that's when you stop copying and you start to build something. And obviously you need to practice and you need to hone a skill, a style over time, but I think it's a lot easier if you're not just confined to whatever art form you practice. Right, that's enough for me. That's enough from me today. I've got some more distance to walk. See you next time. Wait, I forgot. Subscribe if you like this new breed of content that I'm putting out there. Like this video if it's helped you at all, because you liking it will help me. Yeah, that's about it. See ya. Listen. Just wait for the sirens to stop. When it comes to Jesus fucking Christ, shut up. Hello, Sean speaking. Oh, hiya. Yeah, right. Yeah. Thank you for your time and your help, though. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh, okay. Cheers. Thank you again.